last rock for Reed Carruthers.
It's been pretty cool, boy.
For nearly a century, the Manitoba Men's Provincial Curling Championships has stood as a testament to skill, dedication, and community spirit. Celebrating its 100th anniversary, this event has shaped the lives of countless curlers across the province.
Words can't describe the feeling afterwards. Whether you're winning that final game or losing it, I've done both. It's the thing I look forward to the most throughout the entire year.
Since its inception, the championship has been supported by 4 major sponsors: McDonald Tobacco, Labatt Brewery, Safeway, and currently Viterra. These partnerships have helped elevate the event to new heights, fostering a rich tradition of curling excellence in Manitoba. The journey began in 1925 with the introduction of the Brier Trophy by McDonald Tobacco, presented annually until 1935. The trophy, described as the most handsome and artistic of any competed for in Canada, was intended to foster goodwill between the eastern and western regions of Canada. Skip Howard Wood Sr. and his team from the Granite Curling Club would be the first to hold the Brier Trophy, but it wouldn't be his last, winning 4 Manitoba titles, 3 Canadian titles, 2 as a skip, 1 as a replacement third. In 1936, the trophy was renamed the British Consul's Trophy to mirror the trophies in most other provinces. Presented until 1979, the British Consul's Trophy has been the longest-standing trophy in the event's history. Teams like Strathcona's Gordon Hudson and Ken Watson dominated the field in the early years of the British Consuls, showcasing the incredible talent that Manitoba had to offer. A total of 14 teams from the Strathcona Curling Club hoisted the trophy during that time. In 1957, a young, fresh-faced curler teamed up with the son of the first ever winner of the Manitoba Championship. Throwing second stones that year, Don Duguid emerged on the curling scene.
Oh, it was excellent for us, because you see all these things and how different it is and how many curlers we had in Winnipeg and in Manitoba. To go against all those guys, it's really something. But we did. The guy that we had, young, his dad was a good sport. I curled with his dad for a while, and he was really good. And we started, and he played great. Our third man was a little salty. And my brother and I were just in awe all the time, because when we went into the arena to play our first game, it was absolutely full of things. They were all saying, "Hey, look at those little guys there. Look at those little guys there."
Duguid won again in 1965 with Terry Bronstein, and in 1970 he returned to the championship, this time skipping his own foursome. A powerhouse in the event that year, they went on to dominate on both the national and world stage. He then followed that up again the following year.
We knew we had a good team, really. There was one nice guy who was a great curler. He played lead for a best team, and he came and he played third. I asked him if he would play for us. He played third, and then we got the other 2 guys were just as good. And it was just unbelievable how well we played. And they liked it because they heard me working with Bronstein the year before and losing or winning. And they were so excited about getting into it. They were strong. They just played great all the time.
The Labatt Tankard replaced the British Consul's Trophy in 1980, marking a new era in the championship's history. It was a period where the event gained higher public profile nationally. For 14 years, Manitoba curlers fought for the right to hold up a silver tankard trophy, naming them Manitoba's champion. Names like Kerry Burtnick, Vic Peters became household names, along with a young skip from the Wildwood Curling Club, creating some of the greatest curling matches to be played in the province.
Vic Peters was always a great guy to play against, just a fiery competitor. He wanted to beat you as bad as we wanted to beat them, and he showed it on the ice. You know, we didn't have as many battles against Burtnick as people probably think. I think we may have only played in one final against each other, but you know, there was always that lead up with Carey's team and how well they were doing back in the 90s.
It was pretty cool. You know, growing up, watching my dad play in the Manitoba Provincials for a long time, and you know, obviously that inspired me to get into the game.
For the victor that lifts the Safeway Select Trophy, the next challenge begins. Because in Manitoba, the expectation is that a Brier Championship will follow. This afternoon, it's the A-side final of the 2000 Safeway Select, and you'll see it live on Global.
That intense rivalry continued on in the 1990s, along with a new title sponsor. Safeway took over the sponsorship of the event, creating the Safeway Select Championships from 1995 to 2015. During that time, Jeff Stoughton managed to rack up an additional 10 more provincial championships, including a historic 2011, which led to Canadian and world titles.
Physically, all I could do is throw two hands in the air. I remember there's actually a picture that someone took, and two hands in the air looking back at Jeff. It's almost like a thank you. You know, the first one, it was a very special one. It was in Beausejour. But yeah, it's hard to describe it, to be honest. Like it's all the work, it's all the hours that you put into it to finally achieve what you're hoping for. It's exhilarating.
A little surreal, you know, to beat a champion. You know, somebody that you know was really helped me get into the game, and Carey in that group, and so there was, yeah, it was very surreal relief. I was probably a bit of a, you know, if I could go back and do it again, I would try to be a little calmer about the whole thing.
In 2016, Viterra signed on as the title sponsor of the men's event. The championship trophy has continued to be the most sought-after curling prize in the province. Mike McEwen, Matt Dunstone, and Reed Crothers continued that high level of curling in the last 10 years.
Every team that I've been on, it's been a pretty serious endeavor. So, you know, I mean, it's just, I would just say that the weekend itself is one that you really look forward to, you know, and that you're building your year towards that event, you know, and the camaraderie that you've built with the guys on the team, you know, it really comes together for that week. And it's super special. There's nothing really quite like, you know, playing for your province, especially in Manitoba, where it is, you know, so difficult to win.
The championship has seen various formats over the years, adapting to the changing landscape of the game. From the single knockout style of the early British consoles, to the modern double knockout format with a best-of-3 final, to the current 32-team double, followed by an 8-team playoff and a 4-team championship age playoff, the championship has evolved while retaining its competitive spirit.
And I think that's what's unique about Manitoba, but that hasn't changed, and I think it's just that uniqueness. You know, you go out for the opening ceremonies and there's 32 teams to be introduced, and you sometimes think like, what the heck? But it's a thrill for a lot of these guys if it's their first time, if they're trying to win it, or if they're not trying to win it doesn't really matter. It's a thrill for them to be there. So the whole 32-team championship, I think, is sort of what makes it so unique to play in Manitoba.
For many curlers, the Manitoba Men's Championship is more than just a title. It represents a lifelong dream, a source of pride, and a connection to the curling community.
Usually the Thursday and the Friday nights are packed at these communities, and I think that's what's great. The communities embrace it. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers are helping out to get these events run. We always tried to make a point of thanking a volunteer every single day. That was the goal, and pretty easy to do because they're always all over the place, so that was fantastic. But I mean, just how well they put on these events in these smaller communities, and I think that's part of the lore of Curl Manitoba and Manitoba 100 Year.
The Manitoba Men's Provincial Curling Championship stands at a century of history, built on the spirit of competition, community, and camaraderie. As we celebrate this milestone, we look forward to witnessing the next chapter in curling history in Manitoba.